Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rebecca. In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve Cambridge IGCSE ICT practice. This is paper 3, October-November 2020 exam, and we're going to be looking at the spreadsheet task. Task 1, evidence document. Create a new word processed document. Make sure your name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page of this document. I'm going to open Word document, which will be used as our evidence file. So to have our name, go to Insert, Header, and Name, Center Number, and Candidate Number, every page. Save this document in your work area as N24 evidence underscore followed by your center and candidate number. Center number, Task 2. To work for Tawara web developers and will you work for Tawara web developers and will edit a spreadsheet that analyzes data on web page hits and advertising. Open and examine the file 24hits.csv. N24 hits. Okay. This is the file we are going to be working. Row 9 to 38 show the number of hits on visits to each web page during the 24-hour period. The number of hits for each hour are stored in columns F to AC. So in row 9 to 38, so row 9, 38. So all of this data are the number of hits. Okay, place your name, center number, and candidate number on the left in the header. Set left in the header. Have student. Place the text created on, followed by space, then automated date on the right. Space and then automated date. Save the spreadsheet with the file name hits, followed by center. Okay. Back to now. So we're going to save this file. Center number and candidate number. So change the file format to Excel workbook and then save. Format all data in rows 9 to 38. In row 9 to 30 to be centered aligned. The row 9 to 30 has to be centered aligned. Format rows 1 to 8 of the spreadsheet so that it looks like this. To look like this. But first of all, make sure cell A to A1 to F1 and D3 to E3 are A1 to F1, A1 to F1, E3 to E to E3. Okay, so this is centered align. This will the size. See, make sure the text in row 1 is in a 24-point font. So this is 21 points. So now let's look at row 3. See, row 3 is bold, row 8 is bold. 3, 8 is also bold. Okay. This is right aligned. All of these are right aligned. Right aligned. And then else, if we look at row 8 is wrapped. So row 8 is wrapped. It's wrapped and centered. Wrapped, centered. Okay, so now I need to adjust it. Also, we can see that this is horizontally centered. I'm going to total number of hits. Average hourly. Okay, hourly. We have going to remove this first. Let's see. And then this one is middle align. This is final. Okay, that's final. Okay. Here's a replicable formula in cell B to calculate the number of hits for the page 4017 during the 24-hour period. Okay, the total number of hits in cell B9. This is cell B9. So these are the number of hits for each web page. So we are going to use sum to select the range. The bracket. Okay. This is done. Here's a replicable formula in cell C9 To calculate the average number of hits for this web page, we need to calculate the average of each web page. So C now. Average okay, so we have that. Okay, place a replicable formula in cell D9 using nested functions to display the text from cells D4, D5, D6. Let's check that. D4, D5, D6. From this, when the content of cell C9 is greater than the traffic threshold. Okay. Let's read the question again. Okay, so we need to place the formula in cell D9. Okay, and it's an if function. So it's going to display either high, medium, or low if the content of C9, okay, the content of C9 here, the average hourly numbers of hits is this threshold. Okay, so for us to do that, so we're going to use if function. If cell C9 is greater than, okay, now this is, for example, high is 400, right? You can see this is 536. So of course it's going to show high. Okay, but what if this is 400? Then it's going to show medium, which is wrong. And as we can see the threshold, if it is 400, it will be high. So we need to use greater or equal. Okay, so if it is greater or equal to E4, comma, show D4, show high. Then another if again. If I'm just going to type C9, C9 is greater or equal to cell E5, comma, show medium, else show low. And then we close the bracket. Of course, the number of brackets is the number of brackets we open. So our closing bracket should be 2. Okay, so this shows I. But now the question says that this is a replicable formula. So if it is a replicable formula, and of course we don't want these values. Okay, we don't want the E4. What is in E4? We don't want this value, E4, to change. Okay, we don't want this value, high, to change. So we don't want E5, D4. We want all these values to change. So because we don't want it to change, then we have to make it an absolute reference so that when we replicate the formula, it does not change the cell reference. It does not change the cell value. Because if we replicate the formula, automatically the system will change E4 to E5, which we don't want. Okay? It is only C9 that will change. Okay, because we want it to, when we replicate to the next row, so automatically you should choose, we should see C10, C11, C12. But for the others, we don't want it to change. So because we don't want it to change, we have to put the dollar sign to make it absolute reference. Okay, so we just put the dollar sign. Okay, that's it. Place a replicable formula in cell E9. Please cell E9. Okay, in E9. Okay. Now, this formula, okay, is going to look up the rate for the traffic level. Rate for the traffic. So this is rate. So based on this traffic level, is to find the rate. Based on the traffic level is to find and multiply it by the total number of hits for this web page. So the total number of hits is this. So first of all, we need to use a VLOOKUP. We need to use VLOOKUP to find the rate. Okay, to find the rate. So we need to say equal VLOOKUP. So what are we looking for? We are using this value 9, okay, in which table array, okay, this table array, comma, the column index. Our values is in column 3. So column 3, now we want the exact match. Sorry, exact match, then close bracket. Now this formula only look up for this value. Okay, but of course we want it to multiply it with the total number of hits. So we're going to say star B9. And that's the answer. Okay, however, if you look at the question says it's a replicable formula. Okay, so when it is a replicable formula, we don't want the content in cell D4 to D4 to F6 to change. We don't want it to change. So because we don't want it to change, we are going to put the dollar sign in front of D4. Dollar symbol in front of D4 and F6. If we were to get this data, right, let's say this table that shows the traffic threshold and rate is in another spreadsheet, the system will automatically put the dollar sign for us. Okay, but because it's in the same spreadsheet, so we have to put the dollar sign by ourselves. Okay, and then enter. Replicate the formula entered in step 3 to 6 for all web pages. Okay, so in step 3 to 6, so all of this formula here. So we need to replicate it. Just click here and do it. Have formulas replicate. Now format the cells in E9 to E38. E9, okay, to E38, okay, as currency in dollars to 2 decimal places. Okay, currency in dollars to 2 decimal places. Click here. Currency, so it's in 2 decimal places. So let's find okay, that's done. Place a replicable formula in cell B4. Cell B4. This is cell 4. Okay, so what is the formula going to do? The formula is going to count the number of web pages with high traffic. The number of web pages with high traffic. And the question also states that replicate this formula for medium and low. Now this is very important. Normally, if the question just states place a replicable formula in cell B4 to count the number of web, we don't need to make it absolute reference. We don't need to add dollar symbol. Okay, but because we don't have to write individually for each one. We don't have to write individually for each one. Only for high that we need to write and then to replicate. So it's very important that we need to put the make it absolute reference. So with high. So equal, we are going to be using count if okay, count if cell this cell range from D9 to D38 is high. Okay, so we close the bracket. So we're going to make this cell range absolute reference by putting the dollar symbol. Okay, if we don't put the dollar symbol, okay, by the time drag this down, okay, what we'll notice is D9 will change to D10, which is wrong, and D38 will change to 39, which is wrong. Okay, so we drag it down and we have our answer. Print only the cells A1 to F38 formula. A1 to F38, A1 to F38 formula. So to show formula, click on formula, show formulas. So you want to check to ensure that all your formulas are fully visible. So from F1, A1 to F38. So A1 to F38. So 5, print. The printout is portrait or okay, it's in portrait orientation. Yes. Then row and column headings are displayed. The content of these cells are fully visible. So row and column headings, go to page setup. Row and column headings are displayed. Okay, so we have 5 pages. Oh, okay, excuse me, it's not supposed to be 5. We are supposed to print selection only. Okay, print selection only, and then we have just 2 pages because we only need to print from A1 to F38. So print selection. Okay, and that's it. Now, question 11. Apply conditional formatting to cell D9 to D38. Okay, D9 to D38. So we need to go back to not showing, to showing. Apply conditional formatting to cells D9 to D38 inclusive to display. Okay, so let's select D38. So to D38. Conditional formatting, new rule. So format cells that can they should be specific text. So if it is high, format, okay, background should be green. The second one says an orange background. The cell contains medium. Orange background. The cell contains medium. Orange. And then red background if it contains low. Red background contains. Okay, sorry. It contains low. Make sure the text in each cell is clearly visible. Take a screenshot of your method. Make sure that the formatting set range of cells are clearly visible. Place the screenshots in the evidence document. Okay, so you need to click on manage rule, then take a screenshot of this. So this is step 11. So evidence, step 11. Okay, this is done. Okay, change the font color of cells F8 to AC38 to white so that the content of these cells are not visible. F8 to AC38. F8 to AC38. AC to white. So the font color will be white. Okay. Print columns A to F, inclusive, showing the values. Okay, column A to F, okay, up to this column. The printout fits on a single page. So let's go to, I'm going to select okay. I'm going to select, but first of all, let us check if formatting is still the same. It's very important that our formatting is still the same. So you can see that the threshold is centered around. Threshold is centered around. Every other is, that thing is okay. Okay, so we are going to select file, print. So this is our printing instruction. The printer fits on a single page. So we need to make sure this is print selection. It says it needs to fit on a single page. Single. Fits on a single. Short is portrait, it's portrait. The row and column headings are not displayed. Okay, row and column headings are not displayed. The content of all cells in A to F, except those cells where the font color is white, are fully visible. Yes, all the contents are fully visible. And then you can go ahead and print. Okay, so that's all for spreadsheet tasks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.